Everybody, we're back out here in Lanao, Mobile, and we're doing the deck pour. They are doing the deck pour, and they just started a little bit ago. We were looking for a liquid membrane to put over the concrete while it's still wet to slow down the curing and the evaporation, because it's pretty hot today. But we couldn't get the right one. Only one we could get one is one that's paraffin wax based, and that's not good because concrete doesn't stick to it too well. So we're just gonna put the vapor barrier down over it, and then we can still use the vapor barrier later. Wait. My wife's finding money falling out of my pocket.
Be careful, be careful.
So we got the steel deck and a lot of reinforced beams in here. This is the stairway entrance, and we're using a 1-2-3 mix, which is about between 2,500 and 3,000, which is fine. Really strong for over the steel deck, especially one that's got this tighter rebar. And it's not that big of a place, so we got a lot of beams supporting it. And probably going to take about 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, excuse me, excuse us.
They're still tying a few of the rebar supports, and you can get a good shot of the view from here today because there's not that much. You got Mobile right on that little peninsula right there. You got Negros in the background, and you got the mountains over there. And the bottom of Cebu. Really great views. So after we get finished this deck, they'll be doing these second story beams and getting the roof over it. And then not long after that, the next step after that will be starting to put the monoblock up, concrete form blocks. And the concrete form blocks will be right here with these posts coming through them, the rebar, and they're rebarred on the side, and they'll be rebar tied throughout the whole thing. We got more on the top. Once they take those forms off. And somebody asked me the other day how we would get the monoblock up to the top and get concrete in the inside, because the form blocks will be stacked up and put on each side of the rebar, and then once they're stacked up nice and straight, then we will be pouring concrete into them. And once we get to the windows, they'll go across the bottom, and around the sides. And then when we get to the top, you just take the window and you take one of the form blocks. You build a frame inside the window, then you put one of the blocks across, half of it, and the other one, the other half. Fill it up, and then you just keep going up. Keep blocking. It's pretty quick. And then the hard part is just getting the windows and the doors framed in, and the electrical boxes. You can just take rather than just build the whole wall and then start cutting like cutouts for the wires and the pipes and everything. You just put the pipes and the wires inside the wall. Make a little cutout for the outlets and the switches, and when you're all done, you just kind of install the switches. There's wiring, tubing going through there already, and there's a city certified electrician here, and they will connect all the wiring and stuff like that. And we've got everything drawn out for them, all the plugs, all the outlets, the AC units, and everything. And if you haven't seen these concrete form boards, they're right here. And you stack them up. This is a 4-inch. They got 4-inch, they got 5-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch, but 4-inch is plenty because we have really strong columns and stuff. We don't want it to take up too much room inside the house. But if you're making a 1-story, you can actually not use columns. You can just use this and use like the 6 or 8-inch, and that way you don't need the columns for a 1-story because it's all solid concrete. And that will make this building a lot stronger because you got huge columns, strong, very high PSI columns, flooring, deck up above, and it'll be like that all the way up to the roof, so you can attach the roof anywhere. Not like the hollow blocks that are, I've had so much trouble with hollow blocks. We've built, we remodeled, built, and you get cracks like an earthquake or something, or you get here, you might have trouble with a typhoon, and so you get, it cracks easy. You can't really get the concrete, especially if they're using a 4-inch hollow block. You can't really get the concrete into the block properly. You can try to use a vibrator and get it in there, but it's so small, it's very hard to fill up all the air gaps. So, and the hollow blocks here are incredibly weak unless you make them yourself and make like at least a 6-inch hollow block or an 8-inch hollow block. Then you're doing good. And you can make it like 1,000 PSI and fill it with grout or concrete that's at least 2,000 PSI. Then you'll be doing pretty good.